The preview of the video being shown here was uploaded first on Patreon on October 10, 2024, and the full 35-minute video can be found on the Patreon page. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back. Spoken of modified endowment contract, in the middle of certain videos and in parts, I think it's worth dedicating a video to it. I'm aware many people have life insurances, whatever different type, that's good. Some are aware of the MEC rule, some are not. Because quite often, just like I went through it, many people also went through some insurance agent just to create it, and you're given the basics. No different than buying an item, but the user manual is there. You usually don't read it. So long as you just get it to function and you get what you want from it. No need to read the user manual. But in dealing with the progressive nature of things, you start to realize what makes an insurance agent, or maybe any other agent in any other field, better than you or specialized, is because they are aware of what's written in those user manuals. And that's how they get their commission. Nothing wrong with that game. All good. Consequently, many who have whatever type of insurance index, regular life insurance, so and so, they quite often are not familiar with certain rules relating to the limits or lack thereof relating to what they have. I'll reveal those to you. Albeit only a few people have I run across this with, where they have regular life insurance and they want to know how that can be intertwined with their interest in trust and the use of certain debt instruments, which is a good way of thinking about it. Then I mentioned, okay, what are the stipulation of your MEC rules? Some of them don't know that such a thing even exists. And I find myself having to relay them back to certain videos regarding the PPM. But those videos, it's maybe somewhere close to the end or in the middle that I speak about it. And we go over it. We explain the definition, we explain what it does. But then we go back to the subject matter of that video. Figured it'd be more efficient to particularize just one video to just the modified endowment contract rule. I still recommend that you go through those other videos, because what you ultimately intend to do when that question is raised in your mind as to, well, how can I use whatever type of insurance that I currently have intertwined with trust and instruments, besides merely making the trust a beneficiary. That stuff everyone knows with life insurance. That way, when the man or woman dies, well, the beneficiary being a trust carries the name of their children, and the children carries the interest of the life insurance as beneficiaries, because the beneficiary of the life insurance is the trust itself, and the children are the beneficiary of the trust. Now, that's basic stuff. Very, very basic stuff. When people start to think about the advanced manner, like I've been shown in a series of private placement memorandums, you have to know certain stipulation in life insurance, even if you already have one. Just because you already have one does not mean you can use it intertwined with your express trust, along with equity and debt, aka stocks and bonds, through your own control, which ultimately is where most people are trying to go when they ask the question, okay, I already have the life insurance, how do I use it this way, so and so? Well, know the rules attached to your life insurance that whoever that insurance agent has set up for you. One of the most important is called the MEC rule. Understanding MEC rules impact on life insurance. And yes, were there different types of life insurance here? But the MEC rule would always be consistent regardless of the type of life insurance you have. Many policy holders, no different than how the word holder is used when it comes to PPMs and instruments. The only difference is the insurance company basically acts as the one who's gambling with whatever financial interest exists in that life insurance of yours, and they become the private beneficiary. Whatever else is compounded, they give to you as chicken change. No different than going into a bank account, opening a savings account, and the bank gambles with your money and other people's money in a crock pot, and then they give you whatever interest. Even if you go to certain banks and invest in penny stocks with whatever you have in your account, it's the same concept. But what most people try to do, again, is they try to become the banking institution. And instead of getting the crumbs, they get the main end of it. Difference as to how you can do and how you cannot are the conditions placed into your life insurance that the insurance agent knows. And that's the reason why they are the agent of the insurance company, so they could create that stipulation in what you consent to, and you give them certain information and they gamble with it. That's the full circle of it. A bit of a harsh reality, but it happens every day. So when you see certain keywords like policyholder, know that it's relating to you. You hold the policy, aka terms and conditions, created for you. Which brings us back to the first question in this video. Well, do you know the terms and conditions, aka the policy, such as the MEC rule? The holder themselves are the insurance company, aka the holder of the stock and the bond, equity, and the debt. In short, the private beneficiary. Where most people who ask about, I already have a life insurance, how can I use it with a trust and birth certificate? They're trying to be the holder rather than the policy holder. Therefore, I tell them, well, what does your policy say regarding MEC rule? Because that determines how you can use it, how you cannot. Whether you need to first modify it before you start using it a certain way. I hope that's clear at this point. And I know that I deliberately repeat certain things using different formats and cycles because things like this require such a thing. Because if this is your first time hearing it, you have to hear it over and over and over in different ways. And as always in many videos, I tell you, don't hesitate to pause and repeat until you get it. Once you get it, then move on with the video. Otherwise, most of the stuff that will be mentioned would just be information overload. And information is good, but remember, use versus accumulation is what makes information good. You want to be the beneficiary of information rather than just the one who hoards it. Many policyholders, so you should know this policyholder refers to the average everyday man, are unaware that their life insurance could face adverse tax treatment. When people ask about how can they intertwine the special way of the birth certificate and their express trust with whatever life insurance they currently have if they didn't establish it from the scratch themselves, the reason why I tell them, well, what does your MEC rule say? It's because of the tax treatment. So if you're trying to use the birth certificate in a certain way with express trust that does not qualify for tax based on normal tax avoidance method and safe harbors, and you're bringing in life insurance with adverse tax treatment stipulated within its policy, you see that you're beginning to mix two things that are not meant to go together. Now do you see why I initially just go straight to, well, what does your MEC rule say? In which we end up finding out most don't know what that is as to their life insurance, which give birth to this video. Many policyholders are unaware that their life insurance could face adverse tax treatment. Facing unexpected taxes can derail your financial planning and reduce your future saving. This is just the normal way they're speaking of here. So surely if it has such an effect, the normal way, know without the slightest doubt that when you step into the advanced realm of the world of express trust and actually you being the holder and beneficiary, and you having a deposit account as required by certain articles of the Uniform Commercial Code in North America, even more so this applies. And you really have to be scrupulous in looking at these details. Learn how to identify a modified endowment contract, aka MEC. And when it says this word contract here, know that it's actually a clause within the entire policy itself. So a policy is just another word for a combination of different contracts. And when combination of different contracts make up the whole body called policies, so the contract can be the one arm, the contract can be the other leg, but the policy itself is the entire body. When that occurs, those contracts within it that makes the entire policy as a body are called clauses. So in some cases, you will see modified endowment contract referred to as MEC clause. Learn how to identify a modified endowment contract to ensure your permanent life insurance contract works best for you. In other words, and in short, avoiding unnecessary tax. They give you a good visual representation for those who are visual learners, which is one of the reasons why I chose this article, because it kind of encompasses everything and explains it from an angle that is similar to the advanced manner, but for the rudimentary people who are trying to use life insurance, because the same rudimentary manner applies. So I always say, when you run, it's the same mechanics as when you walk. You move one ligament in front of the other. Slight difference might occur based on the force and the form, aka the format to which that same movement from point A to point B is expressed. But nonetheless, the rudiments, same thing, moving one limb to the other. Modified endowment contract, a type of cash value life insurance policy. This cash value life insurance policy is just telling you you're converting something of value monetarily to liquid. Simple. That has lost some of its tax benefits because the premium, as you know, is the stuff, the monthly bills or whatever, quarterly bills or yearly bills to put into that insurance. It's a type of liquidation ability when it comes to insurance contract that does not have tax benefit because the amount that you pay to keep it up have exceeded a specific limit set by the IRS. That's the alternative way of reading that. In other words, if you have a life insurance that gives you the ability to cash out, aka liquid, well, that ability to cash out is lost. Why? Because, you've lost tax benefits relating to it, because whatever you pay to it within a certain period, maybe it's a year or month, is more than what the IRS has set as a limit. So now you've seen that modified endowment contract, MEC clauses, is a form of limitation created by the Internal Revenue Service, who of course deals with tax matters, because, that insurance policy is perceived no different than a bank account, whereby in a regular bank account, if you deposit more than $10K, it's reported to the IRS. If you withdraw more than $10K, it's reported to the IRS. We mentioned in other videos when it comes to banking around 2021, 2022. With insurance policies, they do the exact same thing, with the exception that within your policy, which is the house that determines the way and the format that the money that you're trying to liquidate and that you're hoping compounds behaves. And when you reach certain cap of putting a certain amount of money in that savings account, it does not qualify for some of these detrimental manner of modified endowment contract, but is structured beneficially using the same clause, the MEC clause. But I don't think the time is ripe yet to put that on the website. But know these basics first. MECs originated in the late 1980s after interest rate on cash value insurance policies hit jaw drop in 20%. This percentage of the drops is what they look at in order to cash out in certain circumstances. And then they realize, oh crap, we'll have to do certain things in a certain way so that people don't benefit from it and we only do as the company, the insurance company, aka the holding company for that interest, whereas you just sharecrop it. In addition to their impressive interest rate, these policies avoided the taxes more traditional investment faced because of how the IRS tax permanent cash value insurance policies. Tax deferred, aka carryover, cash values grow without tax to the cash value of the contributions you've paid through your premiums. You can also take a tax-free loan from the cash value and death benefit and cause a policy to lapse. In short, the way that it may not cause this is if you change the accounting method from death to life. Most people call it life insurance, but really it's really a death insurance because it only triggers upon death. And if you use it while you're alive, you get taxed, as though you are a corporation that's liable for tax. So in order to not be dinged while you're alive, if you want to benefit from that thing called quote-unquote life insurance, which really is a death insurance, you have to change the accounting method. You should probably ask your insurance agent of this also. If they don't know about it, don't push it. They likely just really sincerely don't know about it. And just a heads up, they might feel a bit challenged. Egos come in the way of things when it comes to professions, because that's the lifeline of most people. Because that's usually the lifeline of most people. That's their sense of identity and significance that they spend time and money on and got a student loan on, and all of a sudden some everyday man that they perceive as lower than them because, well, they have sales skills, they're an insurance agent, they work for big corporations, you know, people that go to corporate meetings or seminars. Who are you to question them? That's the perspective they have towards you. It's just the reality of the fucked up thing we all live in here. Humans are conceited. Humans are closed-minded. I really think these insurance agents have the greatest opportunity to actually be wealthy beyond the chicken change they make in their commissions if they really get what their higher-ups in the back office are really doing, that they're just getting them to support as henchmen, where the client comes to them and they start speaking about these things. It would open up a completely different world for them. But most people are closed-minded. Therefore, the realities that may open up for them, they may really never enter that door. So you just be aware when you start to speak about these things and you ask them about changing accounting methods and seeing or hearing the details on what the MEC clause within your life insurance policy is and what the 7-pay test is and how you can lawfully manipulate the first in, first out through tax avoidance. No, likely they're not interested in that. They're more interested in commissions. No different than real estate agents. Their main goal, commission. But anyway, let's move on. The preview of the video being shown here was uploaded first on Patreon on October 10, 2024, and the full 35-minute video can be found on the Patreon page.